it's kind of unfair. I will tell you that I think a lot of the conversation that probably needs to happen, and particularly with their venture investor partners for these companies, is the fact that I think the legal regulatory frameworks are starting to shift and transfer. It used to be, the software, you could write that, that 5,000 page and 4-point type disclaimer about we have no responsibility whatsoever what happens to your system when you buy our software. And more and more, that's not holding up as people go to court to challenge these things, particularly when they go to court and discover that there were known problems that they just went ahead with anyhow, right? So if you're a startup company, talk to your venture partner. It becomes very important you do that. But the most important thing of all that you should do is you should be able to demonstrate successfully within a court of law or any form of a challenge that you at least are following some form of a security framework that is approved and makes sense, right? So as you build your software, how are you checking it? You've adopted DevSecOps practices, and here's how you're applying it on every time you do any work on code and you submit it back into the system. It's being checked thoroughly by the following other pieces of checking software, things like that. It doesn't matter how you do it as long as you have a formalized process in place that you can then point to that says we were following this, and because no software is ever perfect, right? We have to know this going in. It's did you try to do the best job you could to ameliorate any sorts of issues and problems as they came up and you know about them. Okay.
Yeah, and just to add to what you're saying, Gus, I feel the tides shifting from a consumer perspective in particular, that people are getting really frustrated with the amount of data that's being leaked. The amount of information that they are, signing up for services and being used without their knowledge. So it's good time to start thinking and preparing for when this inevitable shift happens, where the regulatory bodies are going to start to really come down hard. So we'll see how that works.